So I figure if you take something out of a box and you don't know what it is, you might as well come in to the source and find out from the person who actually bred the plant. This is Dr. John Ruter, he's a UGA professor. Can you tell folks at home something about yourself?
Yeah. So Dr. Ruter, I'm a professor at the University of Georgia, been here 33 years. Actually, for 22 of those years, I was our nursery crop research and extension specialist. And then in 2012, I had an opportunity to come to the main campus in an endowed professorship, take over the trial gardens on the main campus. And so I now have a teaching, research, and extension three-way split. When I was down in Tifton, I had started doing a little bit of breeding and selection, had a large conifer evaluation program. And one of the things they asked me to do when I took the new position was to start an ornamental herbaceous breeding program up here. I said, I'd be glad to do that, but I'm also doing hollies and conifers.
Right.
And so as long as I still get to do those.
Yeah, you'll do it.
So anyway, one of the first programs that I started with Ilex that we have over here was trying to improve upon sky pencil.
Right.
Sky pencil, very popular. It's cold hardy, it's heat tolerant. Problem with it from a production standpoint, 3 to 4 years to finish a 5 gallon. People are having to plant multiple liners in a container. And then you have the spider mite issue.
Right.
All right, so Cronatas in the south, you have root rot issues, black root rot, and you have spider mites. And so I thought, well, maybe I can improve upon that. And so actually my original plan was to take a species from Taiwan that has resistance to spider mites and cross it with sky pencil.
Right.
And so out of that first crosses, we had one release, which is through Monrovia. I don't know if we can say that. But, anyway, so Emerald Colonnade, which has become very popular. It's a nice rounded shrub, but number one broadleaf for Monrovia at this point in time. Selling it in standards. They've moved it into their topiary program to replace, so you've got sort of like a cold hardy replacement for syzygiums,
right.
eugenias, plants like that, and they're going all the way up to 30 gallons with it. So it's become very popular. Nice thing about it, they can fill out a 3 gallon, a 5 gallon in 18 to 24 months,
right.
instead of 36 to 48 for a sky pencil. And so what we're going to be looking at today is sort of next generation,
right.
Going beyond Emerald Colonnade. And so the one we have here today is one called Red Sky that's going to be introduced to the market by PDSI.
Yes, through the Southern Living Plant Collection.
Southern Living Plant Collection.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This, so what's special about it and what's unique about it versus regular sky pencil?
Yeah, so sky pencil, very, very fastigiate, slow growing, mite problems, the Phalaenopsis issues. What we found in these hybrids is we don't have the spider mites, we don't have the Phalaenopsis root rot issues, and we get much faster growth. And so we have a sky pencil planted out here, same time as this one. This one's like twice the height,
yes.
More than double the width.
Right.
We've got this great mite resistance. This one's kind of unique. It has sort of a V shape to it.
Yes, it does.
It's not just straight fastigiate or rounded, so it has a really nice upright form. We'll make a nice hedge for you. The small, lots of branching. Perfectly open to hedging. And doing that. But the other thing I like about these hybrids that we've got is a lot of them, and probably another couple weeks, but the growth comes out this reddish gray purple to it, which all your Ilex Cronatas are just going to be a straight green.
Yeah.
And so you have this nice color contrast in the spring with the purplish new growth, and then you just have nice evergreen color after the flush goes green.
And this is a true trial program. So this thing's been planted. There's nobody out here babying this thing. This thing is getting
no.
Ready.
So the plants come out here in the field. The only pruning they get are to keep them out of the way, so we can mow the strips between out there. So these have not been sheared. This is their natural habit. These plants went in the ground in 2016. here so you can get an idea on growth rate and what their natural form is going to be. And so
this is a thing that everybody has a place for now. We're building houses on slab, and there's difficult, the windows are low, so we either have to have little meatballs that are this big, or in between those windows or on corners, something like this, where it doesn't eat up a lot of ground space.
Right,
yes.
yeah.
So we can get some height.
And so, sometimes, maybe the plants, might get taller than the eaves.
Right, yeah.
Something like that. This is going to be a little bit smaller. You can control these, but
I see the flowering, or does it form berries or little black berries that other Cronatas get?
Yeah, so if there are females,
right? Okay,
yeah, they will. So a number of the selections we have are males.
Okay.
And so, for example, Ilex crenata in the Pacific Northwest is showing up on invasive species list.
Right.
And so if you have a nice male, you don't have to worry about seed production and reseeding.
Gotcha.
And those sorts of things. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we're going to go back home and plant this. So back in the garden, many months later, after filming down at that the UGA trial garden in Athens with Dr. Ruter, back at the house, back at the home garden, we actually have 3 of these red sky hollies. This one, I've got 2 over here planted in the vegetable garden, weirdly, because they're actually going to go back in containers this next season. And we traveled a bit and wanted to put these basically in storage in the ground for the winter time. And again, they'll be used in various projects this next spring. Got one planted in the ground. Out front, I'm shooting this at the beginning of December, so there's not any of that red new foliage because it's not growing. When it's actively growing, it has that reddish, burgundy reddish new growth that looks fantastic. With that said, I have always said that I thought sky pencil hollies were a little bit weak in the landscape overall. Like I grew hundreds of thousands, it's not an exaggeration, hundreds of thousands of sky pencil hollies over the years and sold equal number. And I see them in the landscape, but not as often as I probably should, considering the number that sells. So I do think they're not the longest lasting things out in the landscape. And then I run into this thing down at UGA, and it's being introduced to the Southern Living Plant Collection, and it's been standing in the middle of a field getting beat on for the amount of years that it had been planted in the ground. It was very upright. It had not been split open by snow or wind or ice or anything. And it obviously combated all the issues that I've ever seen with sky pencil holly. So beyond that red new growth, there's a lot of other breeding going on in this plant. And if you have to kind of see them next to one another. So I hope that on the tables at box stores or garden centers or wherever, you're going to have the opportunity to see this red sky Ilex crenata sky pencil, red sky sky pencil next to a regular sky pencil, because I think you're going to see a darker, richer green color. Of course, you're going to get that red new growth on it as well. And overall, just going to be a absolutely fantastic introduction. And everybody's got a space for this type of plant, where you got some narrow space where you need to get some height. And this red sky Ilex crenata, I think it's going to be the perfect plant for that. So thank you guys very much for following along with the channel. If you're subscribed to the channel, you'll get to see this grow over the next season and see all that red new color on it. So thanks for watching.